Okay, so actually we have four laws of thermodynamics, but the relative zeroth dynamic, say zeroth law is taking for granted. Okay, so because labi na mga engineer ganahan kay diretso-diretso, dili na gid emphasize ba ang theory. Muna akong di ganahan kayo sa engineering because you know, they love straightforward problem solving. Ako hilig mo kung details explanation like that so that me will understand and also the people I share it can understand. I don't want straightforward directly because you know it's not an examination. It's only sharing of information. Then you have to be detailed so that they can understand. Get the point? Ganon. And some instructors in university are going directly without emphasizing. Right? Okay. Not all, but ala. Okay? Nung sarili sikap na jud ka kay ala pugson po nimo, hindi man jud itudlo. Di ba? Kanang zero flow ako na paningkamot, na-research ko na mo zero flow. Wa mo ginag-emphasize na nabay laws ako ron sa akong kaugalingon research ko na day four laws on thermodynamics. Ano nag-discuss kuan. Uy, sorry ha. Tinuod man gud ko mamakak. Uy, alam mo mamakak ko ako sa inyo nga discuss ako mo discuss. Diba? I'm just telling the truth. To tell the truth is bad, no, it's not right. Now, it's not also saying that if you did not tell the truth, you are bad already. You are not just discussing that. You get the point? So, things like that, mga panangat ng bitag. Ha? Ganon. Kaya na sila mga bright, magkaya na sila math. Okay, mga engineers, bright kay math, pero ang theory, hindi mo kay kuwan, principles ba, concepts, medyo kayo. Okay? Some also good, but not all. Muna mga hagbog, Diyos ka, kafokus mo sa problem solving. Kaloob ka. I-balance din niyo guys, ha? Take mo board examination. Ayun, ay patingkal na, malisod na dyan kayo mga hindi ba kayo lisod kayo? Mura lang siya ka ng, kuwan guys ba, highly analytical lang. Okay, get the point? Highly analytical nga, i-think, mo, i-correlate mo tanang equations, nga lang siya. Okay. Muna, magmikag mo lisod kayo, pressure man ka, na makalimot pagkausahay, ana, muna makaing ka lisod, actually, di na siya lisod. Okay? Na makalimot po kag connect sa mga formulas na, di ka ka-derive. Get the point? So, there are questions also in the board examination that you need to derive equation from your own. Get the point? Because it was not taught properly. Though it was taught, but I think it was abrupt, or meaning prompt only not giving emphasis, or it's not really emphasized that much. That's why some students also will not do like that, and they will take for granted the board examination. Katulad yung pang tulong nilang studihan. But there's beyond to that. Muna mo derive the equation by your own. I-connect niyo ang tanang equations from first year college to fifth year college. Ganon. Hindi juga mayabuan na, in fairness. Okay? You get the point. I-maximize nila. Yes. Okay. So for full-time students, not for working students, mag-gisod ng guys, gamit kay oras. Okay, get the point. Mabalagang kung naman yung mga working students, batch per tayo. Okay? Pero, gamay rin sila time, no? Sige lang. Okay, kaya rin nila. Okay? So, maraging tang kapuyon na yun. Siyempre, trabaho pagod sila. Working students ba? Okay? Lahi dyan ang full-time makakalo ka, makabuhat ka sa buhaton ba? Okay, buntang hantod sa kadaw, batuon. Kuwag 5 ka libro. O, ganan. Nakakalo ka. So, dagang isulbon. Okay? O, diba? Nagkakalo ka muna. Piligi maklaro, guys. Isa mo na ako pagklaro. Okay. Maklaro na ninyo, guys. Oh, maklaro na no. Asa naman to akong coffee? Akong gipasalig ninyo. Charot! Okay, diara. Diara. Ako yawan si Junjun. In fairness. Okay. Number... Saan ako nga number? Uy. Okay. Number 4. Number 4 is just like a membership or accreditation regulatory body. And then they have also their own external training, international external training. Okay? This is IOSH, International Occupational Safety and Health. This is not more on the standards compared to the OSHA, but they study also the framework of safety based on the standards, global standards, safety standards. They are more on regulatory membership, safety regulatory membership, things like that, and also external training. Meaning, they have their own independent training, not attached to different sectors, okay, in the public or whatever. That's Irish. This is based on UK, United Kingdom. Okay, International Occupational Safety and Health. IOSH. So we have IOSH, Managing Safety. Oh, this is a one training and safety also. And they are handling to that, this kind of regulatory board, the IOSH team in the UK Council, things like that. Okay? So another is we have the IIRSM. Before I am a member for this IIRSM, mga kapatid kong hitan. But I never renew. I'll never renew that one. Okay? Because there's still need to that. Okay? So, that is ito yung duman mga kapatid kong hitan, ha? So, nakulit sa luyo. Ay mo kabalaka ka, nagyaw-yaw ako din, nagtimpla kong kape. O, diba? So, tapos guys, ako na ituyok ko eh. Hindi ko kayo kamao tuyok aning kuwan eh. Kakapoy sa ani guys, oy sariling sikap jud kayo ba no? Ang hirap kumita ng pera sa sa social media, nakakaloka mga kapatid kong hitan. Makapalit ko jud ko aning kuan, bitsin asin suka, ganon o bugas. O sardinas na ako iapod sa charity in the future after 5 years. Diba? Muna akong advocacy of this future. This is not for myself, this is for charity. Okay? I have to tell the truth because maybe you are thinking this is for myself, this is for charity in the future. Okay? Things like that. Because I love to help to different charities. If I'm just a billionaire, I can spend, I think, half of my, earnings to the poor. Really? Okay? Things like that. Okay, so my YouTube revenues are growing, and after 5 years, I will withdraw that for my charity. Nabili pa kong charity, or kung specific charity, it could be the handicapped, less fortunate children, mga ganun, di ba? Okay, sa pa-jud, ganun mga indigenous people, like that, in the community, or whatever. Charot. Okay, guys? Muna akong charity in the future. Or, let us say, dili educated ba? Kasi tawag na siya? Illiterate and uneducated individuals so that they can go to school. Right? Charity. Ganon. So, ako yung patubuo ng akong YouTube. Okay. Thank you so much, Ma'am Donna Caraca, for supporting my channel. So, thank you so much. God bless. Okay, and Ma'am Maricel Cabaral, thank you so much. Ma'am Ruth Vectorilu, wow, my avid supporter. Wow, avid. Right? The point. Okay. If you are really reluctant to listen my discussion, then you can also go to another because you have full freedom to do that. Reluctant means unwilling. English vocabulary. Okay, reluctant. Okay, you get the point. Things like that. So the better, the good way to understand that is to go to the dictionary, read a lot, and if you cannot understand, then try to understand what's the meaning, and then create a sentence that it could be used so that you can master how to make sentence, paragraph, the phrasing of your paragraph will be good, and that would be the criterion in making a report. Criterion, this is only one. Criteria, there's so many requirements. Okay? Criteria of judging, because voice quality, the timing, stage presence, they will say criterion, voice quality, only one. So criterion is the singular term of criteria. Be careful also. Just like analysis. Analysis is both singular and plural, but the spelling will change. You get the point? So that's accountable and accountable noun. Okay, because there are two types of noun. based on quantities, quantifiable. We have countable noun and uncountable noun. And we have also based on the titleship, we have the proper noun and the common noun. Common noun are small letters. Okay? So you should also, say every sentence starts with capital letter. Okay, you get the point? Things like that. And it should have predicate and subject. Without predicate, it's not a sentence. You get the point? So you should extract what's missing there, and you put a lot of beautification, remembering your knowledge in English. Adverb, verb, noun, pronoun, things like conjunction, preposition, okay, idiomatic expression or the idioms, punctuation mark, conjunction, things like that. Conjunction is just like a connectors. Just like our mobile phone, we have the charging. So that's also the same analogy with the conjunction and connectors, but only in a sentence. You get the point? Ganon. Diba? Hoy, mga sa tag-coffee, mga palangga. So, when I drink coffee, it will increase my blood pressure. My blood pressure. Ano man? Charap na. And baggage slowly it lowers down sa maraming gawin. Charot! Nakakaloka. O diba? Okay. Lamig yung pakit. Pakit kayo. With betterness to the highest level. Charot! Okay. Uy, nagyaw-yaw lang yung kuno. Hindi ko mag-yaw-yaw-yaw. Ba't lang ilan yung heart? Okay. Hindi mo na akong ba. Okay. You get the point? Hindi mo na ganun. Hindi ko mag-kumpo. Chart! Okay, mga taga-kakita. Duwit pa ba ang tanan? Okay, mga ang tanin nyo, o binigit nga bugnaw. O, diba? Uy, tagay ko niyo po ang bibaldang kuha. Charot! Nalbakuha. Lamig kayo, in fairness. Okay. Going back here, we have the Code of Federal Regulation, capital C, F, and R. IOSH, IRSM, International Institute of Risk Safety Management. This is a membership regulatory body, international, okay, governed by United Kingdom, or the UK Council also. And then we have the OSHA, the popular one, America and neighboring countries, Occupational Safety and Health Administration. And also in conjunction also with NIOSH, partnership with OSHA. NIOSH, National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health. Okay, as you can see, IOSH and NIOSH are more on closer with the acronym, huh? Okay, but it's NIOSH who have close partnership with OSHA. They will try to collaborate with each other if there's a good safety requirements to be created, and they will signals to the OSHA. This is our discovered safety requirements, and the OSHA will designate numbering and coding after series of scrutiny, cross-examination, like that, or rebuttal of the statements that we agreed with, things like that, or any types of philosophical dramatization. Well, dramatization, meaning to say, normally if you try to consult, there must be agreeing and disagreeing to some points, right? That's what I mean of dramatization. Meaning, it will never go directly to be approved. There's a series of, analysis, assessment, okay, things like that, so that it can be approved later on. The confirmation will be the last. And that's the time they will give numbers, 29, blah, 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 so and so, like that. And then they receive from the NIOSH team. Ganon! Okay, you get the point. And also, this one, MFPA is a little bit collaborating to OSHA. But we have independent numbering. But what I mean, collaborating in some instance also regarding to the generic fire safety requirements. We have to agree with OSHA also. Things like, because NFPA also are within America. Things like that, we have to agree. Okay? You get the point? So, it doesn't mean that we have to agree in the generic fire safety requirements, but that they will have to depend with OSHA for the numbering. We have their own numbering. NFPA 20, NFPA 704, things like that, and Chupa Chuchu and others. Okay. Now, with this bush, I think I could not say this is applicable to other Asian countries, but in the Philippines we have Bosch, basic occupational safety, and but I don't think so. In Asia, Europe, America, they have also this Bush, but this is popular in the Philippines. Okay, local safety officers and professionals in our country of origin have this training before they can practice the profession of being a safety officer. Okay, especially in the general industry, meaning general industry to different levels of industries. For example, not referring to construction only, the operation, like that, the manufacturing, the aviation industry, or working in the airport, things like that, in metallurgy. These are all general. Okay, construction is another thing. Construction is not yet finished the building structures, lines to lines or whatever. That's construction. But we have to train with COSH, Construction, Occupational Safety and Health in our country of origin. So if you're applying for a safety officer, then you will be working with avoides, things like that. Oh, hi, avoides. I passed the avoides, but they never called me. They just keep on promising something, but they never called me back. I don't think so if it is really with regards to the remuneration and salary benefits, because they already know that I am an OFW. Their analysis of OFW are too demanding. That's their general concept. When they go back to the Philippines, maybe they were expecting a high salary. That's also one reason they will not really accept most of the times the OFW. Number two, the issue of the age. Most of the OFW are very old. Not very old, are old already compared to the young. And old are no longer manageable enough compared to the young. The young are manageable to be controlled, things like that, and they accept so much challenges because they didn't experience pa muna. That's why they will choose the newcomers, not the old. So that's also another issue. Okay, and number three, really, there's no such vacancy yet for safety engineer at that time. I kept on writing until I kept bored. Bored, B-O-R-E-D, not B-O-A-R-D. Okay, to the point. So I was sad and planned again to be back in internationally to work as a safety professional. Things like that, okay? Because at that time I really want to work like that in my country of origin. But, so it was not lucky yet. Charot! Okay, then I applied my OSH practitioner in the Department of Labor and Employment. Because you cannot practice really being a higher level safety professional if you will not pass the safety practitioner governed by the government, the Department of Labor and Employment. Just like a certification before practicing your profession as a safety professional in the Philippines, in our country of origin. I don't know also in other countries, but this is only for our country. I think the same thing. They have their own requirements to follow before practicing being a safety professional, right? I think so. That would be standard protocol. By common sense only. I'm not telling you subjective, not ideal or not objective. Okay. Subjective meaning opinion. Okay, not really that subject to confirmation. You get the point? Ganon. Okay. So, after that, we have the National Fire Protection Association. So, with regards to fire and explosion hazards, NFPA have more control rather than the OSHA. But it doesn't mean that they function more. Okay? Meaning, a lot of their standards govern if we speak about fire and explosion. And that's why this NFPA also take the concepts or the standards established by the OSHA. For example, HASGOM communication 29 CFR 1910, okay, like that 1200. This is the specific standards, OSHA standards program with regards to handling of chemicals for the hazardous communications. How you will communicate to the workers the hazards of these chemicals before storing it properly, labeling it properly, handling it properly, transporting it properly, using it properly, and disposing that properly. So this is the specific standard globally with the OSHA standard. This is hazardous communication program standard specific. Okay. I love this because I'm a chemical engineer. It's easy for me to understand these types. That's why if talking about chemicals, I need to memorize first that related to my specialization. Okay, but it doesn't mean I need also to learn others. Okay, so they will use this and they will connect this to the standard NFPA 704. Okay, that's why they are collaborating. So what is NFPA 704? So this is the hazards identification of different hazardous chemicals for emergency response procedure. Like that. Okay, for example, there are chemicals and we need to know what is that. It's irritant, toxic, poisonous, flammable, radioactive, things like that, or it will be producing an adverse health effect to human being. Adverse meaning harmful effect to human. That's only adjective. Okay, you get the point. Or it could yield an ill effect to the respiratory system of the individual or the health itself. Okay, to the individual upon using, storing, handling, transporting, and disposing. You get the point. Disposal will be the last to the environment. And normally they will have a licensed contractor for the waste disposal to do that. That's the point. And of course, the people will try to segregate that property and put in a trash receptacle or waste bin so that it could be properly done. Okay, nothing that will be unhygienic. So it could cause a lot of sickness to the people there, whatever, things like that. Sometimes also you will not teach them to do that by common sense only. You get the point? There are things in life that nobody teaches you. You can only, by your own brain cells, it leads you to be safe. You get the point? Even though you have no education. You get the point? So it doesn't mean limited only to education, this type of knowledge, because there are things in life that we can learn without knowledge itself, or without education itself. You get the point? Sentido común. You get the point? Through eyes, hear, like the hearing, listening, like that, touching, breathing and smelling, things like that. Okay? Ganon. Katulad na siya mga hazardous chemicals na mga fuel, petroleum, crude oil, things like that, hazardous liquids and solvents and fuels, including the paints, thinners, lacquers, or whatever. Okay, you get the point. The flammability is very important there because we're talking about fire and explosion. Okay, explosion is very important for the explosion rate and also the reactivity of the chemicals and the stability of the chemicals, how it will react to other chemicals. For example, if that is a pyrophoric substances, mean to say it will create fire if you will mix that to water. So the symbol will be capital W with a stripe through, underline in the center of the capital W. That means that chemicals will not be mixed with water. If you put water, it will explode. Okay, so by symbol and pictorial, you need to learn that because it will kill a person. That's the point. Things like that. It's in there also you will say, oh my gosh, if we add this, it will explode like blah blah blah. So be careful. That's why we have that material safety habitations. But sometimes MSDS will not be always available all the time. Okay, you need to look for the packaging, just like buying the food with the bacada. You get the point? Red. That's why God gave us the eyes. 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 We need to look and read for something to be safe. And it matters a lot when buying a product. If it is hazardous product, deadly product, good products, expired products, things like that. You need to look for the composition and ingredients of a particular product to make sure. Because imagine you need to take that into your digestive system. What will happen to you later on? You will cause constipation, diarrhea, stomach pain, because you did not notice what are the ingredients for that. Would it be having too much additive sugar? If I drink this, it can produce uric acid somewhere along the way. Things like that. O diba? Nakakaloka. Uric acid formula. Okay, C5H4N4O3. Uric acid. Okay? Ganon. So, most of the manufacturers really standard requirements is to put chemical name at the same time, close and open parenthesis the formula. Okay, so that they make sure that everybody can understand. Okay, that's the protocol. I don't think so also that they will put the formula first and there's no statement. Because statement is more important than the formula in terms of the general public. Because not all people in the whole world are science professionals. You get the point? Not all. Okay, so how can they understand also that? Okay, that's why they put statement or word. For example, muriatic acid, aqua sinada. Okay, mga ganon nga statement dyan ibutang, di ba? Ganon, di ba? Acetone. Dili ang kato mga formula niya. Pero, butangan po nila because that's part of the regulatory requirement, especially if the product will be under patent. Patent by laws or legal before it will be produced in the global market. Okay, it should be patent first and approved by BFAD, mga gano'n. Bureau of Food and Administration. Bureau of Food and Drugs Administration, mga gano'n. Okay? And that would be specific to each country. Okay? Each country all over the world. They have their own regulatory to follow. But of course, again, the same with safety, they use the American regulatory, America as their parent or backbone guidelines, how to do the patenting, releasing the product. It's the same also with safety. Okay? So, hari-hari din si America. They acting like the king all over the world. That's why they create also disturbance to the tribes. They're thinking they are the number one citizen all over the world. So that's also the disadvantage. They're thinking too much of themselves. Okay? Sorry. Sorry po. Baka ma-restrict yung YouTube ko. Ako lang binasay ko. Okay. Nagulunga mo yun sila na sila dyan ang taas sa tibok kalibutan. Muna mo create po sila mga kadaot. Okay? I'm not telling all, but some. Okay, got the point. Okay, kung ano sila ang first class citizen, type A citizen, America. Ganon. So, ilang gigamit ang ilang impression. They use their impression and title shot because they are the most standards type of individual. They create, they created, bad things in our world. Things like that, okay? And even war, right? War ba? Yeah. Okay, state-to-state war, ganon, just because of their vested interest of the economy, things like that. Okay, got the point. Ganon sila, they try to control and manipulate everything. Okay, in the same level also with Russia. Russia and, and the Europe countries, I think so, the British, the United Kingdom, and China. Okay, things like that, okay? It's gonna be like the sleeping giant. Tama ba ko? Sleeping giant, China. Correct me if I'm wrong in history. So, Philippines, the pearl of the Orient Sea. Land of the rising sun, Japan. Things like that. Land of the setting sun, Thailand. Okay, so, the sleeping giant, China. I forgot that was elementary when I learned the history or social studies. Taught by our instructor before, teacher before, di ba? Kayo yung mag-memorize ng mga anak, good, napakando. Sakto ba siya, guys? Okay? Sure ko ang Philippines, pearl of the Orient Sea. Charot. Okay, you get the point. Charot kayo, pearl, good. Nakakaloka. Maybe pearl. Magabot naman ang pearl. Charot. Nakakaloka. Sa kadagan dyan ang pearl, good. Nakakaloka. Sige. Okay, sige. Ano sa akuan? Nasa tila yung push mga palang akong hitad. Okay? Ako sa mga itudlo ninyo, ha? Ganon. Okay. Kuan man ni, may tuon na sa mga substances, Jude. Nakakaloka. O diba mga palangga? Nako sa luyuin na si Yoyo, hindi naman ko coffee. Ay mo kabalaka, but I'm just doing the voice over here. Okay? You cannot see me there in the front. Later on, naman akong coffee. Charot. Okay? Okay, mga palangga. Ganon. Okay. Ako ni Papazon. Papazon talaga. Okay. Isa pa kalimutan. Bisaya kasi English po yun. Palo ka biya. Okay. Okay. Nakakaloka. Okay, we go now to Kosh. Okay. Kush-kush balumush. Okay, got the point? Ganon. So, two, right? Cost. Construction, occupational safety and health. And the other one will be control of hazardous substances to health. Control of substances hazardous to health. That is cost also with double H. You get the point? But the other one is single H. So you need to, that's why you need to explain this by words because this is the same. The acronym. You get the point? Ganon. Okay. Like that. Okay. Did you know yung way chemicals sa? Okay. Saan na lang pagkuhan ng civil, kung wala yung mga kuhan, papilit sa kuhan, mga kuhan ba? Diba? Saan na lang, yung mga growing materials, chemicals, gano'n siya. Watch yung may tabong building, kung may chemicals. O, diba? You get the point? Ganon. Okay. So, anak na yun. Char. Okay. COSHH. Control of substances, okay, hazardous to health. Okay, so the hazardous here is an adjective. Okay, okay, that refers to the health. Okay, that if you try to intake that more to its limits, permissible exposure limit, like this, okay? There's a lot for that, okay? The standard limit, gano'n, okay? For example, carbon monoxide, it should be 50 parts per million. Okay, H2S, it should be 0 to 10 ppm, but the more it will become lower, the more it is better. So, of course, normally, all industries will prefer 0. But for the standardization, it's the range between 0 to 10. Then if it goes beyond 1 to 10, there will be a control there. That's why control, the term itself is control. And we will not say elimination of substances, or else your acronym will change to EOSH. Right? So we say control on it. So it's normal that in our standards, we need to put ranges. It's not always 0. And that's the purpose behind using a noun which is not superlative in nature, because elimination is superlative, meaning you have to eliminate all as in perfectly, ganon. Okay, so control is not control only. It doesn't need to be eliminated 101% or 100%, whatever. That's why our H2S is from 0 to 10. Okay, oxygen is 20.9%. Percentage by volume. Okay, because there's also percentage by mass, percentage by mole, percentage by bullet. But anyhow, you can understand this 20.9%, but for the science professional, we are very, very particular. Would it be molar percent, volume percent, mass percent? Things like that. We need to compute. Things like that. And then we need to go to the standard temperature and pressure in the environment, STP. Ganon, using the ideality of a gas. Balik na po ni Clausius-Clapeyron equation, magagan, okay, general gas equation, ideal gas equation, like that, so it's a long story, okay, right? So this is gonna be, this is in terms of gases, because gas is also a substance. If I will say now, mga palangga, enumerate the 3 types of substances. And this is not a normal question you encountered in your school, because the teacher will never say this, okay? The 3 types of substances are solid, liquid, and gas. Okay, now, if you try to rephrase that in another way around, you will see also, what are the 3 types of phases of matter? Di ba layo na siya? 3 phases of matter. Okay. You answer also, liquid, solid, and gas. I'm talking with phases. EHASES. Then it was rephrase also the definition. What are the 3 types? Well, what are the 3 types of the stages of matter? Stage, S-T-A-G-E na po. You answer also solid, liquid, and gas. They will change also three states of matter. That's also solid, liquid, and gas. So this could only mean that this is not literal in effect. in definition in science. You can use a lot of adjectives in noun, meaning to say replaceable, as long as it is logical and confirmed that it is really suitable to the kind of description you are trying to use and insert in the sentence. Okay, states, stages, phases, like that, or even substance. You get the point? Ganon. So gas is a substance, but in a gaseous form. So if I say form, I will also say, what are the three forms of matter? Okay, form also, the answer will be gas, solid, liquid, and gas. Now, if in the examination in the future, if you say, what are the three forms of matter? And you will never answer gas and liquid because you are always dependent by your teacher in elementary, always using phase. You come answer solid, liquid, and gas. Because you memorized by plain memorization. You did not understand that there's a lot of equivalent for that. You can also use form. Three forms of matter. Three stages of matter. Three states of matter. O ganon. And three types of substances. You don't have to put matter because substances is already a matter. You will only say, what are the three types of substances? Period. You will never say, what are the three types of substances matter? It's a wrong grammar already because substances is already a matter. So that would be a double entry of your duplication or redundancy of your grammar. Meaning you declare two times but with the same meaning. So meaning to say, it will become useless in that structuring of your sentence because it will become a jargon. Jargon in journalism is a term that you keep repeating the words in several times, even though it is already useless at all. And you can change that with, let's say, third personal pronoun. For example, them, they, it. But if you refer to objects, you will usually use it, it. Okay, it. Okay, but ownership, put s, its. Okay, and with apostrophe, above in between letter T and letter S. So that is ownership. You use the third personal pronoun as an ownership to certain objects you are referring in your sentence. Things like that, right? Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Teachers majoring in English. Okay, sorry. Okay, things like that. If I commit mistakes, okay, just cross-examine, huh? Okay, because I'm not perfect. Okay, you got the point. Ganon. So, our control of substances hazardous to health, sorry, nasapit akong dila. Okay, our control of substances hazardous to health will always refer the SDS and the MSDS. What's the difference of MSDS and MSDS? I will try to explain. Okay, so that we can understand. Okay, like that. Okay. Okay, what's the difference between SDS and MSDS? Philosophical answer will be because there's a letter M before capital S, the first letter S. Because also, there are a lot of people also are philosophical. When you ask serious question, they will answer philosophically. Okay, so to irritate you or to measure your brain cells capacity or whatever, they have another purpose, measuring your intelligence, how smart you are, and answering questions. That would be bad. Okay, because if you know the answer, and you know that already, why you ask somebody else? You don't need to ask them if you know already. Common sense. You are only asking somebody just to measure their brain cells. No, it's not good. Right? It's not. It's not a good quality of individual to ask even though you know already what is that all about. Just to measure if you are really that one, if you are really that one, if you are really that one. No, it's not. It's not good. Okay, it's not ethical. Okay, you got the point? Things like that. So, because whatever happens, it really matches to that particular person, if he's really a professional or not. Okay? It will radiate and echoes of who really he is, or who really she is. Okay? Got the point? Ganon. So what you see is what you get. What you hear is what you discover. things like that. You get the point. Okay, mga palangga kong hitad. What is SDS? So that is Safety Data Sheets. MSDS, Materials Safety Data Sheets. Why in the millennial period or era means period or time. Okay, so in the millennial era, okay, so it's gonna be that they eliminate the word capital M. But it doesn't mean also that MSDS is wrong already because in the new era they eliminate the letter M. What I'm trying to emphasize is that normally they are practicing now to eliminate M. They always use SDS, especially the newest books or whatever, and declaration in the textbooks or whatever. But I think so there are still other books reflecting MSDS rather than SDS, okay? But it means the same thing. What I'm trying to emphasize is nowadays, they would rather use SDS, the manufacturers, suppliers like that. But though it has the same meaning, I will just try to explain what's the little difference for that. Okay, minum sa kong coffee. Charot! Okay. Ay, talagang sa mga coffee mga palangga. Uy, kumusta na ba ang tanan? Uy, nakapaan na mag-umba? Kumba mga pinagali. Charot! O, diba? Sige, ako nang sugdan. Ang mubatbat karon sa ikaduhang pulong, maong si Sotero Nepomuceno Jr. residing from Tinaan City of Naga, Cebu, Philippines. Diyos ko, nga nang gibiyaan mo ako. Ug mao ka na ang ikaduhang batbat. Okay, so going back to this title, okay, controls of substances of health. Okay. Okay, so MS. Coming letter M, guys, referring to materials. Okay, so that they will not be create confusion because materials are too generic. Okay, for example, if I have the glass also is a material composed of, let's say, polycarbonate. Okay, polycarbonate, or I think it's gonna be high density polyethylene, because these are plastics, right? Or we have also, for example, if we have polyvinyl chloride, the plastic pipe. So these are also materials. So this is too general to consider. My glass also is material, right? My spoon is a material. Okay, my microphone is a material. Then since most industries are delivering products, okay, and that is very general, and usually they produce chemicals. Okay, not the t-shirt like this, Since they produce chemicals, they only refer that to SDS only. They eliminate the M. Safety data sheets. Once we know that SDS is always referring to chemicals. Not machine also is a material. Tools is a material. That's general, okay? A plate is a material. Okay, my cooking utensils is also material. So they eliminate the term material from the word MSDS to make it safe, because most suppliers and manufacturers all over the world are producing chemicals, whether it is liquid, solid, and gases, not the materials na sa tungkol sa mga planggana. Dili man siya chemicals, yari naman doon na siya good. Okay, solvents, liquids, and gases. That's why SDS na lang siya karon. Safety data sheets. This is what we mean of MSDS before. Okay, but it's still accepted. I'm just telling, we used nowadays means at present situation, at current situation that is nowadays. Okay, got the point? Ang term niya ba? Okay, sa English. Okay, at present. Okay? SDS na lang din siya. But pareho na siya. Okay, got the point? Ganon. Because some also can't understand the SDS only because they terminate the letter M. And they are not aware that that's been changed already. That's also telling the truth. Okay? Maybe they don't know also for few, that what SDS all about, because they heard before there's a letter M, and the M was eliminated in the acronym. So maybe they cannot understand also. To make it sure, now pa lang, pareho na siya. Okay, you got the point. Anak siya. Okay. Anak siya na. Our control of substance hazardous to health will follow the 16 sections of the NSDS. Okay, 16 sections. So I need to enumerate based on my memory retention. Because safety officer entry level, I advise you to memorize these 16 sections because it will keep on repeating. Do not be no, relaxed. Okay, if there is a pertinent, this is called pertinent. Again, adjective, pertinent. What is a pertinent? Okay, pertinent. I said, I have my pertinent credentials so that I could become the manager of this specific company A. Oh, pertinent. What is pertinent, class? What is pertinent? Aside from knowing that this is an adjective, describing or description. Okay. Pertinent is just like a permanent paper or consistent paper or the original copy of your paper. It will never change as the time goes by. Things like that, okay? Because that is original and mastered copy, and then it is permanent or pertinent. That's why you can see that in some of the words in the social media or in a newspaper, the word pertinent really is the same as that. Okay. Okay. So you should learn the pertinent 16 sections of your safety data sheets. And let's enumerate one by one. We're talking examination anino. Okay, 1, 2, 3 until 16. Ganon. So, grabe ko. Oh, imagine na siya sa kuhon because kung mag-safety officer mo, because all the time there's chemicals always in the construction industry. Especially during cladding and insulation, there will be asbestos there. Okay, and there will be calcium silicates. Usually, these are made of calcium silicates or whatever. Okay, kanang magamit mo sa blasting, blasting operation. Okay, the red one, usually na siya mga calcium silicates, whatever, ganun ba? Okay, so you need to know this. Okay, you get the point? So that by the time being you will be asked, then you can answer also. Okay, you will given a work assignment. Di ka kamao. Diba? Okay, so you should learn these things. Especially, but by the way, there's already a regulation that it's not avoid to use asbestos because this is a carcinogen substance. They changed that to something else, nowadays. Okay, asbestos is no longer used in insulation because it is carcinogenic substance. It can cause cancer to human being, according to IARC, International Association of Regulatory for Cancers, IARC. Okay, we study about carcinogenity, like that, everything there, and you can see what are those carcinogenic substances. There's a list there. Okay, just familiarize that there also, because we cannot memorize, there's a lot. Okay, and apart from that, they also tabulate the mutagenic substance, like that, mutagens. Okay, and the pathogens also, things like that. Okay, so differentiate between a pathogen and a mutagen. Differentiate between a carcinogen and a pathogen. O nga. So, before going that, you should also understand what is a pathogen, carcinogen, mutagen, ganon. Okay, mga gene, chuka. Okay, it's gonna be less. So, you can understand also. Okay. Okay, so you don't have to be, specific, but at least you have an idea. If your job requires that, then much better, right? You got the point? Ganon. Or for your own learning only. If you see chemicals out there, and you can save your life through that. Okay? Without any other help. Without any assistance. By just looking the words on the packaging of the product. Maybe it will explode directly. Problem. Okay? You got the mamatay yung ka. You got the point? So you should use your eyes because God gave us the eyes to see and to read something, the relevant information of the products we bought in the market. You get the point? Or in grocery, the supermarkets, or in the malls, or whatever. Okay? Ganon. So, masa mga first section niya, the company, identification, and contact numbers. the supplier name, the address of the particular manufacturers. Number 3, we have the composition of the ingredients and substances and raw materials, like that. And then there are also, I never write because I'm just listen and jot down. And we have also the physical properties and chemical properties of the chemical. For example, if it is volatile, if it is subjected to explosion, or it is easily can react to another, things like that, okay? Reactivity and stability, okay? Ganon. Exposure control measures with regards to the PPE, and for the engineering measures, personal health and hygiene. So this is under exposure control measures, okay? We have also the first aid measure. What to do if it will splash to your eyes, if you will be contacted to your skin, what you will do. For example, flush your skin with water for at least 15 minutes and then dry it off. Things like that. So this is first aid measure. And we have also firefighting measure. What you'll be able to do if your chemicals around you will cause fire. You have to use the fire extinguishers, appropriate fire extinguishers for that particular type of fire. So that is firefighting measure, things like that. So what else? We have toxicological information with regards to how toxic is that. That is toxicological information. At meron dito akong carcinogenity, mutagenity, mutagens, okay? Mutagens, mutagenity. Carcinogen, carcinogenity. Ganun. You got the point? Things like how cancerous is that, okay? Toxicological information. Ganon. And we have the environmental considerations during disposal to the aquatic environment, in the sea, in the land, and in the air. That is environmental consideration. Is also part of the SDS. Okay. And then also the emergency response procedure with regards to the chemical you are handling, and you are following the NFPA 704. Kung itudlo ninyo, it's part also of the 16 sections, ganon. Okay, got the point? So environmental consideration, toxicological, and then the handling and transport consideration. How it is being handled from the supplier going to your plant. Okay, make it safe because it will be dropped off. It will be broken and unstable. It will go to the road and it causes public disturbance to the road. So you need to follow that also, handling and transport of these chemicals. And then then also the storage. Okay, the storage and usage of the chemicals is also discussed there. How to use properly, how to store properly. Okay, so these are part of the 16 sections of the chemicals, things like that. PPE is under exposure controls. No need to mention that one, ha? Ako rin iba ako ambiguity. Exposure control measure, because PPE is only one sort of defense. There's a lot: engineering control, elimination, administrative. So I need to say in sentence, exposure control measure rather than saying PPE, because PPE only is an example. You get the point of the measure. You get the point because there's a lot. There's a 5 hierarchy of controls, how to protect us from the hazards. Okay, so that's part of the 16 sections of our safety data sheets or material safety data sheets we referred in the past. Or even up to now, nakakaloka. Diba? You can use interchangeably. Mga pala nga kita. Ganon. Okay. Ganon. Dayon, appeal po diha ang health consideration. Katulad ng mga how toxic, how poisonous, like that, how irritant, how corrosive, how radioactive the materials really are, including also, reactivity is being separated kasi, reactivity and stability. So no need for the reactivity here. Okay? Only that for the health considerations, except for reactivity and stability, how it will react, right? So, toxicity, irritant, corrosive, okay, ganun siya. under na siya sa health consideration. Okay? Or health information. Kasi information slash consideration. Sa section ba? Section 16 sections of the material sector data sheets. Ganon. O, diba? So, muna na siya, guys. So, any questions so far? Kaya mahumana tayo. Magtulog na po ko yung lain. Okay? Sa mga specific standard. Okay nga itong pinakakunan. This is only good if you're working internationally, especially if you're working in the Middle East, like that, or neighboring countries in Asia that follows also the generic standard safety legislation from America, because it will vary. The legislations will vary from place to place. Okay, but most of the times, kasi guys, Middle East are always using the OSHA standards. Okay, get the point. For example, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, Abu Dhabi. So this Middle East are using the OSHA. Okay. Then they also use the UK, let's say the IOSH, but that's not standardization. We mean by standards, numbering, okay, like that. Wala kasi sila, mga generic na kasi sa kanila. You get the point? So OSHA talaga siya ang ano. Okay. You get the point? Yeah. Kanang mga companies that needs NIBUSH certification, that's only an advantage. Okay, it doesn't mean that you need to have NIBUSH really to become a safety professional. That's only a advantage, additional credential, because the more it has a lot of credentials, the more will be better to the organization. Especially if there's a close competition with the applicants. Normally, if you're an HR personnel, you will troubleshoot the applicant with have a maximum credentials rather than to the limited one. So it's already given to that, right? So, but it doesn't mean if you don't have like that, you don't have the right to work now in the Middle East. That's only their preferred or choice really, because there's a lot applying, right? So the better, the more that has so many credentials. And then they can also feel that during interview, if so many credentials that cannot talk well in the conversations, it could also great discouragement for the interviewers, and they will not pick up that one. They will pick up the other who is good in communication, even though they don't have also that much certification. Because as I told you, certification is just a piece of the paper. You get the point? It's not really the performance, the actual performance in the field or in doing your job in the future. It's only paper, right? Paper doesn't that's only match your integrity, but not all the time that the people who receive that really good enough. I think you agree with me that there's a lot of so many credentials that cannot even know what is a risk assessment. If you ask automatically now, what is a risk assessment? What's the procedure? They can never say a thing. They will just and then very disorganized in their answer. No specific answers to say. Or like that, so many pause, P-A-U-S-E, stoppage. They cannot answer spontaneously and effectively. So it's gonna be like that. It doesn't always say that experience, credentials, not all the time. It depends on the situation, especially in your performance in the interview. Okay, things like that. Because it will matter a lot. If you have so many credentials, you will never know what is the objective of being a safety officer. Di kasulti. Oh, nakakaloka. Okay, pildiho nag-high school graduate na kamaudjod. So, why gamit yung certification? Ito kamaudjod ang tabi. You get the point? And that's the reason also, so many good communicators don't have that much higher certification, but they're working now in the Middle East because of their performance in the interview. You got the point, things like that also. But the better total package, good communicator, have credentials, higher degree, so that would be better also for the part of the HR, okay, in that particular in company or employer. You get the point? That's also impossible to have that all in one setup. There will be a little, if he is good, he's also missing another one. So that's the time they will balance everything like that. They will, after that, they will study, who among them will be choosing, things like that. Okay, you get the point. So, ang ending, swerte. Okay, because as you can see also, ang katong kuan kayo nag-falsified yung mga documents mo yung makuha because may kayo matabi. Okay? Na yung credentials are all falsified. So don't falsify your documents because you know it will reflect your image and integrity in the future. Especially, you know guys, your journey is not only in Middle East, you can also go to other countries, in Europe, in America, and the background investigation there is very strict. From your friend, from your loan, it will be asked everything. From your mother. I experienced this, though I'm not experiencing the Europe because my niece also is working in America now. So there's a lot of like that. But in Middle East, the company will never accept for Saudi Aramco. Saudi Aramco will really investigate everything. Just like me before. Even though I'm in the contractor part, they will still ask so many things and all will be there, will be true and correct, not falsified. Because you will be repatriated later on if you have the SAP number in the computer and then you are not a degree holder and you just fabricate that one problem. You will go back to your country of origin, sure, 101%. But in another companies except Saudi Aramco and I think so, Saudi affiliates, okay, or Saudi client, things like that are more world class, right? So you cannot do that also there. Okay? So never falsify documents because it's not good. Just be true who you are. Ganon. Okay? So sorry guys ha. Honestly naman ko yung mga nag-falsify na nagtrabaho na po. Because guys, you know, money is not the happiness in this world. Okay, sometimes it's your conscience after all. During you are sick already, like that, and your your children are eating the food that is not coming from the honesty. You get the point? So things like this, it's not always the money matters. Sometimes your conscience, how guilty you are, things like that. Because you falsify the documents, naku, nakakaloka. Dako kay kagbalay nga, imurang i-false ang imong documents, may ipatumaw mo engineer ka dito, dili ka engineer tinuod ka. Kada ko nang sagpa, that's reputation and integrity. You get the point? Good the point. So, lagi siya paminaw, di ba? Because that is not personal, it's more on the education. Right? But for sexual orientation, that's another thing that's personal. That's not detached because we are talking here of education. Okay? Education, falsification of documents, and work experience falsification of documents. If you try to falsify, and then, because there's a lot also, they falsified the year only, I think so, the others. Okay? Because somebody also talking to me like that, my experience. And we will not mention names, ha? Pinakakaloka yun. Sometimes they are your friends. Like, okay? Things like that, okay? We need to play big respect. If they love that, then let them to realize in the future that that's not good. Okay, you get the point. Things like that. Okay, ganon. And then, napo ko yung nakita katong ni Bush. Ni Bush dahil mag-color. Like color ang yung kuan ba yung pagkasuwat, di man nga nga kuan yellowish. Yang katong ni Bush mo blue magutong yung mga font. Kung naguro na jugo mo naman jud falsified iya we. Na wala pa ko dito ato the way he will act, the way he will make report, and the way I really prove that that's not true. Because it will, as I told you, it will echo your credentials and your actions in actual. The way how you speak, the way how you make report, okay, things like that, the way how you make statement, the way how you deal with other people. So if you put too much high credentials and it doesn't match, it could have been you falsified that documents. Okay. I'm not judging, but based on experience also to those people who also told me directly in front of me. Okay, you get the point. I told you, some are my friends also. Few friends. Okay, get the point. Ganon! Kamu lang bahala mo, discarte mo sa inyong sakit, inyong kinabuhi. Pero, for me, di siya maayo. Okay, you get the point. Nakakaloka. Kung kanlaan ito gusto nila kanang kung ano, wala na nangabit, kailangan mo ng kabit-kabit, pero kung magsasagot baka na ng mga education, work experience, kanang personal, lahat mo ng personal guys, kay biga man siya, lahat mo ng biga ang education. Uwag. Uwag ang biga is not the same as work experience and education. Okay, lahat man na good. Hindi man na sa based on legal documentation. May tuon man na sa imong orge. Yan, bigaon jud kay ka. Huwag kalabutan ng kuan diha ang education. Ang pagpilis ko bigaon jud ka. Wala nga man po. Bisag pa kay grado bigaon jud ka sina pa kay grado. Bigaon jud ka. Ana ba? Di ba? Muna siya kong pasabot na ako. Ang diversified niya, hindi ako sexual orientation. Ang diversified ang documents. Ganon. O di ba? So much explanation. Thank you so much for watching this Cander's explanation. I hope you like it and forgive me that sometimes I can talk in Bisaya. You can understand. Okay, because I'm Cebuano. Sorry for that also. Okay, bye-bye. God bless everybody. I hope you can share this to anybody also. And you can comment down below in the comment section as well. And you can click the notification bell for some newest updates of Science, Health, Safety, and Music channel. Bye-bye. Stay safe. See you later. Kakalok ka mga palangga. O diba? Ganon. Ay! Choofs.